Hi guys, welcome to Totally Speedway's Weekend Wrap. I'm Daniel Powell, the publisher and editor of Totally Speeder. Once again guys, sorry for the delay. Compiling all this information takes about 20 minutes to half an hour of airtime. It takes roughly between 4 to 5 hours to compile all this information. So we've had a good weekend. We didn't have many rainouts, if any at all, I don't think. Hopefully everyone can hear me okay. It's a little bit windy down here. From now on, probably from every Sunday, I'm going to be going to the office and doing it from the studio. So, I'm not studio, or the office room sort of thing with that. So, today I'm wearing my Michael Stewart's hat. He ran third last night at Sydney's Valvoline Raceway in the second Super Series round and has slipped back to second in the series point standing. So hopefully this phone doesn't get blown away. Sorry, it's really windy. Hopefully everyone can hear me okay. So we'll get stuck into it. So the Perth Motorplex in Western Australia, they held the John Day Classic. And it also doubled as the Western Australian title for 410 sprint cars, and it was also Kerry Madsen making his season debut for the Kinetic Racing team in Australia, and also the debut of the Quickie Motorsport team and Jamie Veal. So plenty of draw cards there last night. In the end, at the fall of the checkered flag for the WA title, it was unfortunate that Tim Van Gininger was unable to complete a hat-trick of wins, but the win went to another Victorian-based racer in Jamie Veal. So Jamie Veal had to fight hard. He certainly didn't have it easy, but he got stronger as the night went on, running for the Quickie Motorsport team. So the WA number 2 Quickie Motorsport Maxim certainly came on strong when it mattered most. There was a number of impressive standouts. Caden Manders, he'd actually put it out of position 2 and led the majority of the feature race. He was having a great battle there with Darren Molyneux, who was driving for Steve Duggan. That was his first appearance in the WA number 41 Cup, previously by Cameron Kessler, and before that Ken Sartori. So in the end, Caden, the youngster, is relatively his second season in sprint cars, 410s, it's his first one, and for him to run second behind Vealy was a great achievement. He said in the press conference when I was listening to that last night, he was saying it's just a bit of fatigue sort of thing, going from running sprint cars, running speed cars, then going into 410 sprint cars has certainly been a bit of a jump, and especially with it being a hooky track last night, it certainly was fast, and it took a bit out on the body, and young Caden certainly was up against it. But in the end, Jamie Veal just proved his class, got the lead with about 7 laps to go, and from there was never headed. I also finished the race without tear-offs, so that was another, and there was a number of tear-offs, both Caden and Carl Dowling, who drove impressively to finish third. They all said that they were fresh out of tear-offs as well. So so Vealy ended up defeating Caden Manders and Carl Dowling. For Carl Dowling, that was his best finish for the season, so well done. In fourth was Jason Pride. Fifth was James Inglis, who was knocking on the door for a maiden podium finish. He's up there with yet another top 10 result. Brad Mialo, the defending AHG Series champion, was 6th. 7th was Jason Kendrick, who had a tough night and was well off the pace. Defending and 2-time champion Tim Van Gininger from Victoria, he ended up 8th. 9th and 10th was completed by Andrew Piolo and Daniel Harding. In terms of the DNFs, Kerry Madsen, he started out of position 5, so he was alongside Jamie Veal there in the feature race, and he looked strong. He obviously was looking to get his way to the front, and it looked like it would probably be a battle between Veal and Madsen for the win, but it wasn't to be. And after about 7 or 8 laps, Madsen pulled infield with a flat tyre, so that put him out. Darren Molyneux, who we spoke about earlier, was impressive running for the Steve Duggan WA number 41 car. He put it on pole position. He was battling with Manders there for the lead. Unfortunately, he had an engine issue probably around 20 laps in, and that put him to the infield. Another one of the favourites, Sean Bradford, he qualified towards the front. He made a mistake. He openly admitted that, saying he went a bit too hard with the fuel load, and crashed out in the opening laps, as well as Kai Scroop. He was also a victim in the early stages. So yeah, it was certainly a fantastic debut for Veal and the Cricket Motorsport team. They worked hard and they got it. They came to the fore when it mattered most. But kudos to Caden Manders, who's showing just what a talent he is. He just needs a bit more fitness. He's the first to admit that. But with more track time, he'll learn a lot more from this than he will a win sort of thing. So yeah, well done, Caden, and well done for Car Dowling too. He's been a bit off the pace, and he's a former ASG Series round winner in the past, so he's run up the front, but now he's starting to get back. He said in the press conference that he's venturing to over the East Coast over here to Sydney's Valvoline Raceway to run the Christmas New Year period. So with that, also on the program was the $30,000 prize pool for the speed cars with the John Day Classic. So this is an event put together by a number of the people within the WA Speedway fraternity. I think this event is replacing the Magic Man 34. Obviously they wrapped that up last season after 10 years. So with this one we've got it replaced now with the John Day Classic. So we had a couple of Americans in Tucker Klassmeyer. Never heard of this guy, from Palera in Kansas. So he's a 21-year-old. He runs over there and does like the USAC stuff and that. Also Alex Bright, who's running for Graham Jones. He's no stranger to Australian shores. But in the end, it was a 21-year-old Casa Klassmeyer who emerged the winner. He was running for the Bennett Motorsport team, so the USA number 7 car, and he was able to drive away and score the win. Dane Kingshot, one of the pre-race favourites for the locals, was second. Glenn Mears shows impressive form. He's the current WA Speed Car Association president. He drove really well to complete the podium in third. Fourth was Alex Bright, and Travis White was fifth. Travis White's continues his consistent form and currently leads the WA Speed Car Club Championship point standings as a result. So for Alex Bright, earlier in the feature race he had a crash, so he'd rolled over. And luckily there was no damage to the car, and he was able to restart, but then was able to work his way forward to finish just off the podium in fourth. So quite a gallant result considering that he'd crashed in the early stages. So this event, was a $30,000 prize purse. The winner received $8,000, so not a bad payday for Tucker and the Bennett Motorsport teams. So with that, there was some hard luck stories. Tom Payet, he qualified third, so running the Lee Redmond WA number 52 car, but was unfortunate to be unable to start due to an issue. He was unable to make time, and he qualified third. Dean McCallum making his first return to racing in about 5 years in speed cars. That is, he was running really strong and showed no lack of pace, despite being out of the driver's seat of a speed car for 5 years now. In between that, I think he'd done some wingless sprint racing. I think before that he'd run over in America and done a few cameo appearances over there as well. So but Dean McCallum, he's certainly going to be a force with more track time as the season goes on. In the other classes, so the wingless sprints, Matthew Ivanhoe continued his good form, picked up yet another win. I think that was his third win for the year. Second was Chad Pittard, and third was Brendan Wedge. So Brendan Wedge putting in his best performance of the season so far. In the late models, unfortunately, due to all the rain, there was a lot of rain in the lead up to this event, and that delayed the program. The late models, so that was the latest round of the Pro Dirt Series. Unfortunately, their feature race due to curfew was unable to be run. So that was unfortunate. But it is what it is, running in a metropolitan city close to Perth or Kwinana. As it is, and obviously there's curfews that come in place there with that. So I'm sure, no doubt, the late models will be able to catch up that round or that feature race at a later date sometime this season. So a great effort for the Perth Motorplex. Obviously, threatening skies throughout the day leading up to the event. But all in all, a great meeting. Great to have Jamie Veal running for the Cricket Motorsport team, get that first win out of the way. Kerry Madsen, his car looked amazing, running the Kineric Racing team as he shoots for a third Australian title in a row, the fourth of his career. There's no doubt that he's shown that he'll be on the pace, and he'll be quick wherever he goes. So I think he's headed over east now. The calendar for the Kineric Racing team for Australia for this season is yet to be announced. So yeah, with that, so we go over east to Sydney's Valvoline Raceway. They had the George Tatnall Challenge, so that's an event that's shared between sprint cars and the Speed Car Super Series. So George Tatnall, obviously a former winner of Australian titles in 1988 in the sprint cars, so he won that at Adelaide Speedway Park, and I think he won 3 Australian titles during the 70s in the speed cars. So yeah, with that, but guys, yeah, as I continue, please like, comment, share. Really happy with the engagement. Thanks everyone for tuning in. But yeah, please like, comment, share with that, and I hope you all get out to the track near you. So at Sydney's Valvoline Raceway, so in the end it was Sammy Walsh. So far this season for the the Ultimate Sprint Car Championship New South Wales, there's yet to be a double feature race winner so far this season. We've had multiple feature race, we've had numerous feature race winners, but no one been able to back it up with a second one. But Sammy Walsh last night was able to do that, to drive in the Rocket New South Wales number 92 Maxton car. He was able to put it on pole position and drive away and score the win. So Sammy's certainly in great form at the moment. He's had a little bit of bad luck at certain stages so far this season, but he's certainly hitting his straps when it matters most. Marcus Dumpsney ran second behind Walsh. Marcus Dumpsney, that's his 18, and that's his career best drive, so he brought it home for his first podium finish. Get blowing away here. Okay. I apologise for this wind, but it is what it is. But from now on, I'm going to be doing them inside the office now, so every Sunday, so we're not affected by these elements of weather. It's a lovely day, but the sun's shining. It's just the wind near the water picks up. So back to Marcus Dumpsney. Yeah, great drive, real confidence boost heading into the Christmas New Year period. He ended up second. He started from position 8 in the field. James Thompson missed a consistency. He picked up yet another podium finish. I think that's his 4th podium finish from 6-7 rounds. He qualified on the outside of the front row alongside Walsh, but was able to bring it home in 3rd place. And as a result, Thompson continues to lead the Ultimate Sprint Car New South Wales point standings ahead of Daniel Sayer and Matt Dumpsney. Ben Atkinson, once again, he missed out on back-to-back podium finishes but ended up 4th, so pretty happy with that. Andrew Wright put in a great drive, probably the best drive that he's done at Sydney's Valvoline Raceway. Last season, as a lot of people know, he had problems, a neck injury due to the crash when he was out on the road with the World Series Brigade, but he's building a lot of confidence now. He qualified, started out at position 9 in the feature race and was able to bring home a 5th place, and that's a career best finish for Andrew Wright in the 410 sprint cars at Valvoline Raceway. He's won a speed car feature race there many years ago, leader sprint car days when he was the multiple Australian champion, so he certainly had success there. But sprint cars, obviously, despite your success in other classes, getting to 410 sprint cars is certainly a different game. So yeah, but Wrighty's doing well, building his confidence, and this result will no doubt do him well. Another home in 6th behind Andrew Wright was Alex Orr. So the youngster put in a hard charging drive, come out of position 21 and was come through and finished 6th. Daniel Sayer once again consistently logging points, and that helped consolidate his 2nd position in the current point standings for the USC New South Wales. Sorry, just got holding on to this and trying to scratch my nose. But where we go? Sorry about that. Daniel Sayer qualified 12th and was able to run 7th. Danny Reedy, he was involved in an accident that we'll talk about in a minute, but he was able to, he qualified 14th, brought it home in 8th. Troy Little and Grant Tunks completed the top 10 finishes. In terms of the action towards during the feature race, Robbie Farr, he was put down as position 16. That's where he finished, but he was involved in an accident. Matt Dumpsney had a crash about 13 laps to go, and that was in turn 2, exiting turn 2, where it hit. I saw the footage, and he hit the infield berm, and that flipped him over. He crashed into the wall. As he was crashing back, he landed, and Robbie Farr had nowhere to go, and he'd come into the path of Robbie Farr. Robbie Farr sustained damage, was able to restart, but at the back of the field was some damage because Matt had landed on him. yeah, and he was able to start from the back of the field with a damaged car and brought it home in 16th. So, yeah, disappointing run for Robbie. He was running 4th, then Matt Dumpsney was running 3rd, so those guys are really running hard at the front of the field. So, with that. So Matt Dumpsney, yeah, he was a DNF. Jordan Brazier, once again showing great pace, but was unable to take a trick now, recorded a DNF. Earlier in the night, there was a bit of carnage in the heat races, unfortunately. Mick Sala rode out a big wreck, which caught in turns 1 and 2. That caused I saw some photos of his car, and it's bent severely at the front. So, yeah, he was one. Mitchell Dumpsney and rookie Chris Street, they had a coming together on the front straight, and they rode out big wrecks, and they pulled them both out. All 3 drivers were okay. The car's a bit not. Graham Largalow, the budget race in his 2nd season in sprint cars, a former fender bender racer. He qualified outstandingly. I think he was 10th in his group and 15th overall. So this guy's running on a shoestring budget with, equipment well down on horsepower, but he's able to qualify 10th in time trials in his group, 15th overall. He started in the first 3 rows of his heat race. Unfortunately, in the opening lap, there was an incident between himself and Brendan Scorgie, so a bit of an accident. He tried to avoid Scorgie, but it wasn't to be. And yeah, he flipped. There was some interesting photos, or some spectacular photos of the crash by Largalow on the Valvoline Raceway Facebook page. So he's got plenty of airtime, but speaking to him last night, I think it's pretty much he's done for the Christmas New Year period. He's going to try and make it out for the Scott Darley event in the middle next month. So yeah, it's taken a hit for the budget race. He does it on a shoestring budget. Every spare cent that he's got goes into his racing like a lot of people. And yeah, it's certainly unfortunate, but you can take a lot of confidence out of that, Graham, in the local racing team. Showing good pace for what you got. You're doing a lot with a little. So well done, mate, and yeah, keep your chin up. So with that, and then going to the speed cars. So this was the 2nd round of the Speed Car Super Series, and this was part of the George Tatnall Challenge. So one of George Tatnall, a good friend of Ken Jenkins, who's the series organiser for the Speed Car Super Series, and in the end it was Ken Jenkins' son, his youngest son, I think it's youngest son, yeah, Darren's younger than Troy, who came up with the win just 2 weeks before Brett Morris come out of retirement, technically, if you want to call it, 11-year hiatus out of speed cars, and picks up the win. DJ Darren Jenkins was able to come away with the win there. So he used all his experience. He's been racing for over 20 years. He's had a lot of gaps between then due to business and family commitments and all those sort of things, but yeah, kept it all together and won for the veteran. As I was speaking, having some banter with Mark Cooper from American Racing Tyres and Services on Twitter, he's over for the PRI event this weekend. That's in Indiana in the US. I was saying that this is like a throwback. The last 2 meetings about Brett Morris won, Darren Jenkins won. It's like the throwback to the mid to late 90s and early 2000s. So yeah, so it's great to see DJ get up there and still involved. He's been racing since the early 90s when he was a teenager, when him and his older brother Troy made their debuts in speed cars after coming out of go-karts. So it's great to see, and it's great for the competition that those wily veterans still have a lot to offer. So 2nd place was Victorian Travis Mills. Travis Mills, the 2nd place, has now given him the lead for the Speed Car Super Series point standings. 3rd was Michael Stewart. He went into the round as the series leader, having won the opening round at Gunnedah Speedway in northwestern New South Wales. He's now slipped back to 2nd, but Michael just consistently logging points. Travis Mills now, he's ran 2nd in both rounds so far for the Speed Car Super Series, and yeah, good work. And then looks like those two, both Stewart and Mills, will be fighting it up the front all season. 4th, just off the podium, was Regan Angel, one of the rookies in speed cars. His 4th place finish has slotted him in 3rd in the Speed Car Super Series point standings. 5th was Adam Clark, the 4-time Australian champion. He's driving the Steve Smith owned car, speed car at the moment, while the Jack Berry racing car is getting prepared. There's some delayed with some parts, speaking to one of the team members recently. So yeah, so Clarkey running the Smith car, the Steve Smith owned car, the New South Wales number 13 car. So he ended up 5th. Matt Jackson was 6th. Troy Jenkins, Darren Jenkins' older brother, was 7th. Mitch Bryan making his return to speed cars. He's had a bit of time out of late. He was 8th. In 9th and 10th was the Queensland duo of Troy Ware and Darren Vine. Darren Vine had started from towards the back of the field. He got the hard charger award, and he brought it home he started from position 21 or something like that, and brought that home in 10th. So yeah, plenty of racing, spectacular racing, really great night at Sydney's Valvoline Raceway. So yeah, bring on the international season. So we've got one more meeting with a low-key meeting this coming Saturday night, the 16th. So that will have the development series. So yeah, and as people are commenting here, Tim Simpson saying the speed car feature sensational, man, they are great to watch. Michael Bulliman saying he's a crew member for veteran racer Alan Day, best speed car feature for a long time. So that's great to see, and yeah, just great racing, and great to see that the veterans have still got plenty to offer, as Brett Morris and Darren Jenkins have proven in the last 2 race meetings there. So we'll go over to Geelong in Victoria to Avalon Raceway. So that was the Fireball Derby, which doubled as the 6th round of the Eureka Garages and Sheds series, and surprise, surprise, the Monty Motorsport team and James McFadden came out on top. They'd put it on pole position. James was just in great form. That's now 4 wins from 4 starts from the Monty Motorsport team. He was fastest in his time trial group, won both of his heats, put it on pole position, won the feature. He was unchallenged there, despite a number of cautions, but the other guys had nothing for him. It was pretty awesome to see. I saw something come through on one of the Instagram stories. I think it was from Zoe Douglas, that's James's partner, and after the racing they were like, yeah, here's this team, he's dominated, and he's just sitting in Macca's with his crew chief, having a midnight snack sort of thing. So it's great to see. It's just great. I just love the raw of Speedway, and like here it is, one of the best teams in the country, arguably one of the best drivers in the world, right up there, and here it is just snacking at midnight in a McDonald's, 24-hour McDonald's. So, yeah, that's cool, and that's what I love about this sport. Yeah, where you always find these humbling appearances. So yeah. I've got a question here. What does pole position mean, Dan? I won't judge you, Harder. So in terms of pole position means, to the uninitiated, it means that you start from the front. So if you get enough points, that means that you start from the front. So from position 1, that gives you a head start, so you're not starting from position 10 or something where you're deep in the field. You get a head start on the field by being out of the traffic. So yeah, pole position means that you're starting from pole position. So Arana, hopefully that answers your question, and I will see you tomorrow. So in terms of second place, Steve Lyons. He qualified out of position 5, and that's he was able to work his way forward, and he worked hard. He had to get through a number of like Corey McCulloch and Peter Dugas, and that had to battle hard to get through to them. Once he got into second, he was unable to catch James McFadden. By the time he got into second, James was just too far ahead, despite having some restarts. But Lyons, he ran second, really happy with that. It's his second podium from as many starts at Avalon Raceway. So well done, a great result for the Halls Motorsport team, and they're just building up nicely coming into the Christmas New Year period. So we've got that. Corey McCulloch, Mr. Consistency, he's having a great start to the season, ran third at the Victorian title 3 weeks ago. Got fourth at the last round for the Eureka Garage and Shed Series. That was at Mount Gambier's Borderline Speedway in South Australia. So he once again qualified third, finished in third on the podium, a great result. Peter Dukas put in his best result for the season. Started alongside McFadden on the front row out of position 2 and brought it home in 4th. He was running in podium contention for most of the feature race, but then got back at the later stage. Just missed out. But Peter Dukas, well done. Peter, great effort, good confidence booster heading into the rest of the season. In 5th place was Grant Anderson. So Ando, he qualified 9th, was unable to fret the front runners and challenge for a podium spot, but he ended up 5th. Lockie McHugh, he'd come from position 2016. He'd come out of the B main, so unfortunately he was unable to transfer directly from the heat races. So he put in his best results since coming down south so far this season to run 6. Lockie McHugh obviously getting plenty of laps at unfamiliar tracks that he's raced at in regards to his assault on the World Series Sprint Car Championship, where he's coming on as a rookie racer, so a rookie entrant. So yeah, started from position 16, ran 4th in the B main, ended up 6th, so well done there. Scott Riley, the Western Australian, who's done a lot of racing in recent seasons on the East Coast, he was another B main transfer, and he ended up 7th. Former Eureka Garage Shed Series champion Brett Milbourne, he was 8th, another B main, not B main bandit, but another B main qualifier. 9th was Tim Hutchins from Tasmania. He won the B main and come from position 13 to run 9th. And Jai O'Keefe completed the top 10 finishes. In terms of the non-finishers, Dave Murcott, he'd won round 2 of the Eureka Series. That was at Heartland Raceway earlier this season. He had a mechanical failure. He'd qualified 8th, and then he stopped and brought out a yellow due to mechanical failure. Rusty Hickman, once again, he's had a great start. I think he's had 3 or 4 podiums, minor podium finishes this season. He qualified 6th, having a really great night. Unfortunately, had a tag the wall, crashed, and that involved Glenn Sutherland, who was having a great night as well. So both of them were eliminated. So unfortunately, Rusty, had a crash and that put him out, and Glenn Sutherland was in as a party and that put him out as well. So in terms of that, so speaking of Rusty Hickman, despite having a DNF, he is the leader of the Eureka Garages and Shed Series point standings, ahead of Tim Hutchins, Brett Milbourne, Glenn Sutherland and Jamie Veal. Jamie Veal, of course, is probably not going to contest many rounds up until later this season due to his other commitments. He's 5th in the point stands. One of the hard luck stories of the night was Terry Rankin. He had 2 crashes on the night. So Terry Rankin, he's recently stepped out of Formula 500s and into 410 sprint cars on a regular basis. So Terry, he'd won his first heat race, so it was a career first win, but as he crossed the finish line, he'd crashed and rolled over. So that was unfortunate. The youngster, he's from Geelong, he's just a local. He crashed, but was able to fix the car in time to take his spot in the feature race. In the feature race, he was running up there until he crashed on the last lap, so that brought out the red light, and McFadden had greeted the checkered flag for the win. The red light had come out, and that declared the feature race because McFadden had crossed the finish line. But Terry, a tough night. Keep your head up, Terry. You're going to learn a lot from this. It's a 5-year apprenticeship, they say, in sprint cars, but and you've obviously got the ability, as you've proven in Formula 500s, to make a go of this. So keep your head up, mate, and see you back at Warrnambool's Premier Speedway next weekend, hopefully. So that completes everything from Avalon Raceway. So unfortunately, Brisbane's Archerfield Speedway, they were going to have the latest round of the East Coast Logistics Series for 410 sprint cars. Those guys can't take a trick. They were preparing and getting everything ready for the night's racing when the rain came down, and that put an end to the night. So they were all just about to go out for engine starts and all those sort of things. But the rain came, so Brisbane was unfortunately washed out. I think that's their 4th washout. So there's a number of drivers that are getting itchy feet, and they probably should come down south and avoid the weather. So not having the best of run. Hopefully the weather's nice come the Christmas New Year period, but it has a bad history of doing some crazy things to weather up in Queensland over the Christmas New Year period. So hopefully, fingers crossed, everything's right. So for John Kelly and Kathy Kelly and the whole Queensland Speedway community. So with that, so Murray Bridge Speedway in South Australia, they had the King of the Bridge, so that's a big Formula 500 event. Murray Bridge Speedway in South Australia, they were the host of last season's Australian title, which saw Liam Williams win back-to-back titles and the 3rd Australian title of his career in that. But going back-to-back wins was Chris Bellman. Chris Bellman last season fought through and was able to pick up the win, but this time he proved that his first attempt was no fluke and scored a convincing win. He defeated Angelo Carusis. I think that's how you say it, Angelo. He's a 2-time winner of the King of Bridge in second, and his brother and newly crowned, and Bellman's brother and newly crowned SA champion Dion Bellman was third. So a great run there for the Formula 500s, and a great win by Chris. Really satisfying. That's one of the marquee events on the Formula 500 calendar down here on the East Coast. And then in the other classes, the wingless sprints, so we had the first appearance for the season for Joel Chadwick. So he's the current Australian and South Australian champion. He hasn't been seen due to his other commitments. He does a lot of cycle speedo, where last weekend he became the world champion, and also 2 weekends, a couple of weeks before that, he'd won the Australian title. So he's a dual Australian champion in both cycle speedo and wingless sprint, and a world champion in cycle speedway. So well done to Joel. But Joel was able to make his first appearance for the team, so the Wicket Racing team, and yeah, he scored the feature race win. Second was Anthony Tapley, and third was William Caruso. In the super sedans, it was Paul Blenkiron, I think that's how you say it. He's a local mechanic in Bunbury. He scored the win, an upset win. He defeated Dave Gartner and Ryan Alexander, so those two guys are usually the ones up the front. But Paul Belkenrong was able to put it all together and come away with the win. So a great win by Paul, and yeah, to hold out both Gartner and Alexander, who are two of the country's best racers, is certainly no easy feat. In the mod lights, Danny Prad. So Danny Prad, he's a former junior sedan racer. He's raced AMCA Nationals in the past. He's doing really well in the mod lights, one of the fastest in the country. Scored the win. Justin Playstead, so he's recently had his farewell from sidecars, so he's stepping away back into the running the four-wheel variety. He was second, and third was Graham Nucky. He's one of the regulars in the mod light scene. So with Justin Playstead, obviously he's been a bit of troubling recently outside the racing fraternity, but he's making doing the running four wheels now in the mod lights. And also it's interesting to note Brodie Cohen, who's a Queenslander, he's recently stepped into running Formula 500s as well, so he's running both Formula 500s and sidecar still. So he's from Townsville up there in North Queensland. So it's interesting to see the sidecar races going the way of the four wheels. So in the street stocks, Kerry Weston scored yet another win. Darren Fawn was second, and Tony Prexidu, I think I'd say that he was for Tony Prex, so he's the Adelaide's version of Tony Soprano. I don't know if I can say that. I'm only joking, Tony, if you're watching that. Just your name. And yeah, with that. In the MK Nationals, Jake Armstrong scored the win. Second was Jason Robinson, and third was Leanne Turner. In the junior sedans, it was Heath Vaughan. Second was Aaron Tranter, and third was Drew Flatman. Then we go staying in Western Australia. Wales Westline Speedway. So they hosted one of the 410 sprint cars. In order to get a decent field of 410 sprint cars, they had to put $10,000 up for grabs in order to attract them. So that's just the way it is. Whyalla is on the way, as I spoke in the preview. That's on the way to cross the Nullarbor near Port Augusta. So if you're driving, it's about 4.5 hours west. Now, and they got about 15 cars for that, and in the end it was Brad Keller driving for the Downing Brothers team. He scored the win. He's scored a convincing win. He's coming into good form in regards to the season proper. He's coming on as a contracted driver for the World Series, so he ran second last weekend in the South Australian title. And was able to back that up by going one better. It was his first win for the season, and what a win to do, $10,000 for his troubles. So well done to Brad Keller for that. And sorry, not the Downing Brothers team. Sorry, that's Matt Eagle. My bad. So Brad Keller, he runs the family SA number 19 car. So that second was Matt Eagle, who's driving the SA number 97 Downing Brothers car. So he ran second. He fought hard to chase after Keller, but was to no avail. The track was pretty narrow and hard to pass, and a lot of lap traffic. Third was Daniel Pesca. That's his first podium finish for the season. Fourth was Keke Fallon, the Ford-powered car. And fifth was Hayden Pitt. DNF was Ryan Jones. He was one of the DNFs. He was obviously one of the favourites, but he was unfortunate. Retired on about lap 13, I think it was. And the support classes, it was the street stocks, and it was local and birthday boy Andy Maxwell Jr. who scored the win in the street stocks. Second was Wayne Fosterus, and third was Jared Hamilton. In the V6 sprints, it was Greg Bell. Second was Michael Bucksallen, and third was Damien Eve. Damien Eve has spent time in sprint cars in the past, and before that V8 dirt modifieds. So yeah, so good to see a good field, and good to see Westline Speedo putting on a big show. You know, it takes a lot of effort to put on a show and to attract a good quality field of sprint cars, and you guys certainly did that. And yeah, it's good to see. Hopefully you guys had a good crowd. And with that, then we've got Goulburn Speedo and the Suffolk Tablelands of New South Wales. They had Super Sedans, Production Sedans and Lightning Sprints and a number of other classes. In the Super Sedans, it was Lachlan Onley who scored the win. Second was Paul Cronidis, the local, and third was Andrew White. Goulburn hadn't had the best of runs with weather of late, but it was able to, yeah, the weather gods were able to smile on them. In the development series for Super Sedans, it was Mark Sonners from Wagga in the Riverina area of New South Wales. Second was Steve Johnson, and third was Glenn Stothard. In the production stands, it was the opening round of the Southern Series for them. Damien McAllister and his cousin Darren Snowden put in a fantastic battle. I watched the footage of that, and those two were fighting hammer and tong throughout the feature race, but in the end, Damien, the current New South Wales Production Sedan champion, was able to get the win. Second was, Darren Snowden, and third was former ACT champion in Wes Barnes. So a great battle there. I watched the video on that. In the Lightning Sprints, it's former Australian champion Dean Eden who scored the win. Second was Danny Stone, and third was former New South Wales champion Chris Davis. So Lightning Sprints made their first return in a while there to Goulburn Speedo, which is about two odd hours south of Sydney. So unfortunately, Kingaroy Speedway in Queensland, that's the major sponsor, sponsored by Ambocher Race Parts, one of our sponsors here at Totally Speedo. They'd completed all their heat races. They had Lightning Sprints, the Patrick Moroney Memorial. They had late models, they had street stocks, and they had production sedans and junior sedans. But unfortunately, rain come in just after all the heat races were finished, and yeah, that cancelled all the event, just wiped it out. So obviously the weather wasn't good, so hopefully that improves. So that's the last meeting for Kingaroy before the Australia Day long weekend, when they've got the Kings Royal for modified sedans. So yeah, hopefully the weather can be kind for Kingaroy, because they're doing some great things up there. Yeah, Ambocher Race Parts supported Kingaroy Speedo. Down in Tasmania, Sasolo Hobart Speedway. They had their third meeting of the season. Super Sedans were on the program. Steve Latham was able to take the win. Second was Lucas Dillon, and third was Anthony Mannion. In the wingless sprints, it was current Tasmanian champion and current Australian number 2, Luke Redpath, who scored the win. That was his third win for the season. Second was Jacob Corbuck, and third was Troy Lewis. With their minor podium finishes. In the street stocks, Dale Riley Jr. picked up yet another win. I think it was his fourth win for the season. Second was his brother John Riley, and third was Corey Bold. And the Formula 500s, it was Dylan Beveridge who drove to the win. Taylor Johnson, she drove really well to run second, and third was Rick Wetherill. In the MK National, it was Daniel Brooks, the current Tasmanian champion. That's probably his final hit out before he goes over to the mainland and attempts to run in the Victorian title, South Australian title, and the Australian title, which is going to be held at Ballarat's Red Line Raceway. So yeah, Daniel Brooks picked up the win. Adrian Bassett was second, and third was Adrian's dad, Rodney Bassett. In the Bombers, it was Todd Bennett who scored the win. The minor placings were filled by Josh Briggs and Kylie Jensen. So with that, we've got a bit more racing to go, just to cover. We had Alexandra Speedway, that's in country Victoria, so that's towards the snowfields. In there, and they had the $5,000 prize purse Ford vs Holden Street Stock event. Unfortunately, there was a track lighting issue, and they were unable to run the feature races. But in the end, the overall win was given to Lenny Bates. He was the Ford campaigner. Second was three-time Australian champion Brad McClure. He was from the Holden Brigade. And third was John Lodge Jr. John Lodge Jr., he made a cameo appearance for the Patriot Motorsport team, so owned by Reg and Kat Corbett. Warwick Hoey was originally going to be running the car, but he got sick late last week and was unable to take his spot in the car. That's when a quick phone call 2 up Newcastle to John Lodge Jr., who, a fortnight earlier had a spectacular debut in the V8 Utes at Newcastle on home soil and drove really well. He was drafted into the team. It was his first time that he'd driven the car, never stepped foot in it, and came over third place result, thrilled for the team, really looked after the car, and that was the car his older sister Kiona drove to the Queen of the Mountain at Ballarat's Redline Raceway last season. So the John Lodge Jr. was able to pick up the win. Standard Saloons, VSC Sports Sedans, Gosser Sedans, Victorian Junior Standard Saloons and SSA Junior Sedans were only able to run heat races, and their feature races were unable to be run, so that was unfortunate. So then staying in Victoria, Rushworth Speedway, they had late models, and Cameron Pearson picked up his 5th win in a row. So Cameron Pearson, he's going over for the USA versus Australia late model test series that's going to be running over in Western Australia over the Christmas New Year, or early in the new year. He's in great form, picked up his 5th win on the trot. Second was Steve Vaughan from South Australia. Third was Wade Carter, he's from Bathurst in New South Wales, and he brought home a strong finish in third. Fourth was Chevy Edwards, and New Zealander Kristen Vermeulen was 5th. In the other classes, the Division 2 Hot Rods, Shane Richards scored the win. Second was Jordan Haley, and third was Scott Laidlaw. I can't even read my own writing. In the Goulburn Valley Open class, it was Paul Lamb who scored the win. Thomas Conboy was second, and third was Gary Gatz. In the Goulburn Valley Production Sedans, it was Shane Hutchins who scored the win. Troy Britton and Ian Wilson was second and third. In the Goulburn Valley Ladies class, it was Chloe Lamb who scored the win. Belinda Shawcraft was second, and Kelly Lamb was third. In the Goulburn Valley Juniors, it was Lockie Fitzpatrick who drove to victory. Josh Cecil was second, and third was Tristan McGaw. At Bundaberg's Carina Speedway in central Queensland, they had round 4 of the Queensland Super Sedan Series, and in the end it was the arch rivals of Matt Pascoe and Darren Kane who battled it out in the front. In the end, Matt Pascoe proved his class and picked up the win. Second was Darren Kane. Third was former Queensland champion Matt Williams. Fourth was Wayne Randall, and Tanya Smith brought home 5th. So Tanya Smith, obviously, she's been sidelined over the last decade, struggled with injuries, but she's getting on top of that now, and that's her best finish for the season. So 40 laps she was able to do that, and great results for everyone there. In the production sedan, it was Frank Packer that picked up the win. Neil Kadoulis was second, and third was Nigel Malvina in third. In the junior sedans, it was Casey Collins, the former Queensland champion, who drove to victory. Curtis Peel and Zachary Maxwell was second and third place respectively. The non-wing sprints, they had non-wing V8 sprints. They had a small field, but interesting. I noted in the preview talking about that. One of the nominations was Rick Tapscott's. Rick Tapscott's is one of the best in the lightning sprints throughout the 90s from Queensland, and he was able to he's made a return to Speedo via the non-wing V8 sprint. So it's good to see Rick Tapscott back. He'd be in 40s or 50s now. He's around the Andrew Wright, Nathan Smee era. You had those guys running up the front, and then you had Rick Tapscott that would come down and run in the latest sprint cars, and I think he won an Australian title so as well. And then going down to Western Speedway in Hamilton in Victoria. The previous weekend they had a rain out. That was the opening round of the VMPA modified sedan series, so that was round 1, and it was Kai Walters who last season shared the top honours in the point standings with Nick Cockerell. He got his championship or series defence off to the best start, and he drove away with the win. Second was Brock Atkins, they won the locals, and third was Andrew Blackwell, former Australian modified sedan champion. I think he won in 2010 off memory at Latrobe Bendigo Bank Arena Speedway. I think it was back in 2010. I know Steve Price and Aidan Raymond, I think, was second and third. That's just off the top of my memory. So Andrew Blackwell, he's been on the sidelines pretty much since and hasn't done a lot of racing. And he made a return and ended up third. Fourth was Russell Felzarelli, I think that's how you say it, in fourth. And Nick Cockerell, the joint defending series champion, was fifth. So good to see the series get underway. Kai Walters, great effort to get his championship off to a great start. Like it's pretty cool to see. Like you look through here and you got Kyle Waters, who was front runner in junior sedans. You had Brock Atkins, he's a former Australian junior sedan champion. Nick Cockerell's a former Australian junior sedan champion. You've got Andrew Blackwell, who won an Australian modified sedan title. So there's certainly plenty of talent going through the modified sedans, and they're doing a lot of good things in terms of the promotion for the class as well. So Kelly Atkins, so that's Brock's mum, and Greg Atkins, they're doing a lot of good things there with that. So yeah, going over to the West Coast, so back over the West Coast, Atwell Park Speedway in Albany in Western Australia. So that's down the bottom of Western Australia, right down south. And they had the Noel Pearson Memorial, which is the season opener. You had production sedans, street stocks, Formula 125s on the program. And in the end, and junior sedans are on the program. In the end, the overall how the Noel Pearson Award is honoured is the fact the highest point scorer from the night. So in the point scores at the end of the night, it was a joint success between Hayden Mortimer in the junior sedans and Jason Batchelor in the street stocks, in production sedans. Sorry, both of those drivers were undefeated all night, and they shared the Noel Pearson Memorial Trophy for the 2017-18 season. So in the production ends, Jason Batchelor proved too strong. In the street stocks, it was Peter Herbert who came up on top. In the junior stands, Hayden Mortimer, of course. In the Formula 125s, it was local Darren Cartwright who came away with a convincing win. So they've got some good numbers, and they're doing really good things out there, or down there in Western Australia. So then we've got Bunbury Speed. I was unable to fight. They ran on last night, but I was unable to get any results or anything, which is frustrating, because I spend 4 to 5 hours trying to get all these results, and trying to get some actual results, being unable to find them is quite frustrating. So then we've got in Queensland, Lockyer Valley Speedway in Gatton, and that was that they held the Legend Car Queensland title. It was Graham Keats. Graham Keats has done a lot of racing around Lockyer Valley Speedway and Speedway cars, but he was able to go back there, qualify at the front, and come away with a win in the Queensland title for Legend Cars. So he's a multiple Australian and state title holder in Speedway Karts, but he's able to continue that form. This is his second season in Legend Cars, so he came away with a win. Second was Glenn Mitchell. He's the current New South Wales Victorian NACT champion. He ran second. He's a former Queensland title holder. He won it 3 seasons ago at Toowoomba's High Tech Oil Speedway. Third was Shane Younger. That's his best result in Legend Cars. So he's I think it's his second or third season. He's the son of Jeff Younger, who used to race fender benders back in the 90s. Fourth was Liam Heaton, and fifth was Chris Patterson. So only a small field. Hayden Pascoe was there as well. That's one of the form drivers, but he had an incident earlier in the heat race and was unable to compete in the rest of the night. And in the other classes, wingless sprints, David Eggins scored the win. Brent Chandler was second, and third was Mick Reed. In the National 4 sedans, it was Brock Hancock who scored the win. Braden Mooney was second, and third was Bevan Burton. And then in Kalgoorlie, going back to Western Australia, we're going back and forth here when it comes out. In Kalgoorlie International Speedway, they had their 4th meeting for the season, and the AMCA Nationals, Matt Lahilia, who scored the win. Second was Shane Cabbage, and third was Greg Horan. In the production sedans, was Rob Bowden, who's a former super sedan racer. He scored the win. Former Australian national production sedan champion Tim Green was second, and Ernest Manning was third. In the street stocks, it was Jack Barnwell, who's in great form, great touch. In the street stocks, he scored yet another win. Peter Walker was second, and veteran Bob Wakefield was third. In the junior sedans, it was Dylan Parks who drove to victory. Kane Della was second, and third was Blake Fletcher. In the Maryborough Speedway last night, they had the Queensland 500cc solo title, and that was held the other week, or last month. They tried to run the Queensland sidecar title, but unfortunately that was lost due to rain. But on this occasion, the sun was shining up at Maryborough Speedway on the Fraser coast of Queensland, and it was Jake Allen who rode to victory. Hugh Skidmore was second, third was Zane Kennedy, and fourth was Mason Campton. And in the final meeting that we're covering here are Lang Speedway in Victoria, so that's about an hour out of Warrnambool before you get down there. And they had junior sedans, they had SDAV hot rods, mini sprints, and a vintage display. In the junior sedans, it was the first round of their VS, I think it's JP junior sedans, JPA series. Yeah, JSPA, I think it's Junior Sedan Promotion Association. They held their opening round, and the juniors in the A class was Brad Gartner, who scored the win. Second was Ricky Cornwell, and third was Ben Milkov. I think that's how you say it. I can spell it, I just can't say it. In the B grade, it was Todd Mule who scored the win. Second was Casey Ferguson, a great drive by her, and third was Matt Michelson. In the SDVA hot rods, it was Stan Marco Sr. who scored the win. Second was Shannon Meekins, and third was Stan Marco Jr. So yeah, great result for the SDAV hot rods. In the mini sprints, it was Jason Lynn who came out on top. Second was Darren Scorn, I think that's how you say it, and second, and Ali Moore was third. So guys, that completes the weekend wrap. It's amazing we get it done. I only chat for about half an hour, but it takes 4 to 5 hours to get all the information. But yeah, guys, once again, please like, comment, share, and yeah, but yeah, hopefully everyone had a good weekend, and yeah, stayed out of trouble, had a safe and enjoyable one. Yeah, obviously there was a lot of tributes over the last night for Jamie Lee Smith, the wingless sprint racer who passed away on Thursday night in a car accident. So yeah, the teenager, she was only 19, but it's great to see a lot of the tracks show respect and yeah, the output of promotion. So yeah guys, alright, no worries, I'll be back for next week, this coming weeks with a weekly Q&A with myself. I'll be working on doing the next conversations program. I'm contemplating doing on a weekly basis during the busy period of the season. I know that takes a lot of effort, but if I can get a few sponsors, that'll be awesome, just to make it all possible. Yeah, but we've got Wednesday night's Q&A. We'll have the Friday afternoon, we'll be doing the weekend wrap. So yeah guys, please like, comment, share. I really appreciate the support, and I'll see you guys on Wednesday night. See ya.